I'm not gonna make you wait. Our exclusive Core Set 2020 preview is one of the coolest we've ever had. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and helping us earn this awesome privilege set after set. Enjoy. Kethis, the Hidden Hand, is 1 white, 1 black, and 1 green for a 3/4 legendary creature elf advisor. Legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. You can exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard, and until end of turn, each legendary card in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from your graveyard. Kethis is a huge departure from the legendary travel spells we've seen in the past, interacting with the card type in a way never really seen before, and certainly not in this color combination. His ability is wild and powerful, allowing you to cast every single legendary in your graveyard all over again for the small cost of exiling 2 of them, and each of those legendary cards cost 1 less to cast. So we're going to explore Kethis from the top down, and I'm going to build a narrative that will excite you to play Kethis in Commander. If you want a Commander unlike any other, one that is breaking the design mold, look no further than Kethis, the Hidden Hand. We'll begin with his color identity. The reason Core Set 2020 includes a wedge cycle of legendaries is because the wedges needed support. They needed new design, new blood. While the Abzan color combination is very cool, it has become a bit stagnant. Gave Guru of Spores, Onofenza the Foremost, and Dagatar the Adamant all manipulate +1/+1 counters really well. Carador and Teneb are relative masters of destruction and the graveyard, and then Doran is a premier big butt commander doing something relatively unique to himself until Arcady showed up in another 3 color combination. Now, look at these commanders. They've all been around for years, and besides the partner commanders, that's it. That's what Abzan has to offer. And while these are all great and hilarious commanders to play with, Kethis represents something new. A theme that no one would ever have thought would come to Abzan. Players were guessing a go-wide commander, a token commander, basically as far from Kethis as you could be, and that's a good sign. This design moves away from the expected, so as we move through this Kethis guide, I want you to think about just how unique of a design he is, and how building him means doing something no one's really done before. To fully appreciate Kethis' recursion powers, we have to explore the depth in the Abzan color combination of what we can bring back. Thanks to the recent change making Planeswalkers legendary, Kethis can bring them all back. You can cast them again and again. That means in your commander game, both Ugins are live, Liliana Dreadhorde General, Liliana Vest, Garruk Wildspeaker, Elspeth of all kinds. If you hate yourself and everyone you play with, Sorin Markov, you get my point. Even at a basic level, the ability to recur multiple Planeswalkers by simply casting them is kind of absurd. If we take a look at some of the most powerful legendary cards in Abzan, the puzzle starts coming together on just how powerful Kethis can be. So many strong cards in Abzan are designed to help counter strategies, whether it be +1/+1 counters, poison counters, or loyalty counters. Most players think of Atraxa when they think of Super Friends, but Kethis covers many of the same bases and lets you focus in more on recursion. Let's say we want to build an Aristocrat Super Friends deck. Sounds like nonsense, but hear me out. Many of the best walkers are in these colors, as we've already gone over, but then there's most of the Super Friend walkers too. A Johnny the Great-Hearted, a Johnny Unyielding, a Johnny Steadfast, and a Johnny Mentor of Heroes. So yeah, lots of a Johnny to pump the rest of the walkers. The next step, you need an army. Luckily, these are the 3 best colors for making an army. Here's a quick list of walkers we can put in this deck to create creatures we haven't already covered. Elspeth, Sun's Champion, Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, Garruk, Primal Hunter, Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, Teo, Vraska, Relic Seeker, Gideon, Ally of Zendikar, Sarah the Benevolent, Sorin, Solemn Visitor, and then a dozen more. A literal dozen more on top of what I just listed off and the walkers we spoke about earlier. You will have your army, so then what? Whatever you want. Play Mirren, the Moaning Well, Phyrexian Tower, gave Guru of Spores, Vishkal, Blood Arbiter, Cabal Patriarch, Krovax the Cursed, and Ghost Council of Orzhova. All legendary cards, all can be replayed with Kethis, even the land, since his ability says play, not cast. Yeah, that's real. That's for sacrificing any creature, but then you can go even deeper with the sacrificial Super Friends theme. You can feed your token army to Yawgmoth to draw cards and proliferate all your walkers. Razaketh can tutor using their bodies. Izoni draws on their death. Ghoulcaller Gisa creates more of them to sacrifice, and Bantu drains everyone. All these cards are replayable with Kethis. Never before have legendary permanents had such resilience. You can choke out opponents with Cruel Celebrant, Dictate of Erebos, Grave Pact, Blood Artist, and more, sacrificing token army after token army in pursuit of total victory, making sure you bring back your important legendaries time and again, using the less important ones as fodder along the way. Include a small proliferate engine to power up your walkers even more, like Karn's Bastion, Contagion Engine, Evolution Sage, and Plague Maw Beast, just to name a few options. Kethis is designed to starve your opponents on creatures and run them out of resources as you find ways to bring your best permanents back from the grave. Now, the most important part of this plan is to have enough legendary gas and fodder to fuel Kethis' recastability. So you're going to want to fill the deck with powerful but expendable legendary spells. For instance, Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, Urza's Ruinous Blast, and Yawgmoth's Vile Offering are perfect for this. All of them are powerful in their own right. If you need them again, you can cast them from the yard, but if you don't, they make excellent exile material for Kethis. Counting on permanents to be destroyed usually isn't part of a sound strategy, but in this case you really don't mind it. It gives more options in the yard to exile. Thran Temporal Gateway is an excellent card in the deck, great for sneaking legendaries onto the battlefield, but if it gets destroyed, it's probably better off being exiled than brought back. Mindslaver gets itself into the yard, you could go either way there. Cards like Tamio's Journal, Sword of the Animist, and Mox Amber all have uses, but again, they'll do just fine as exile fodder. I told you, the deck's weird. Kethis forces you to think a bit out of the box. If you have them, Super Friend staples like the Chain Veil will make great inclusions, but then we get to be a little crazy. Walkers in the graveyard, fine with us, which means the Elder spell is real here. Kethis loves this card. It fills the graveyard and will probably let you ultimate your best Walker right away. Walkers used to be difficult to get back, but with Kethis, you can ditch them whenever you want. Use Deploy the Gatewatch, grab a bunch of Walkers, play them for reduced cost thanks to Kethis, then kill them all and wreck the board with a powerful Walker ultimate. Now, in case you don't like the idea of exiling legendaries that you can't get back later, there are a few cards you might not have heard of that can help you out with that. Rift Sweeper is an often forgotten card that enters the battlefield and lets you shuffle an exiled card back into your library. That's not bad. If you include a few blink spells, could be a nice way to get back your exiled legendaries. Then we have my preferred method, Pull from Eternity. Stick this on an Isochron Scepter and go to town. Just to be clear, you don't have to care about bringing these cards back from exile. You're fine playing normally. Think about it in the grand scheme of things. You have Kethis on the board and let's say 10 legendaries in your graveyard. You exile 2 of them, but in exchange, you get to play 1 legendary artifact, 2 legendary creatures, and 5 planeswalkers. By the time the board deals with all of those again, it'll have been worth way more than the 2 worst legendaries you exiled. How long do you think the table can keep wiping your best cards? Not forever, especially if they're planeswalkers. And if things really do get super bad, play Mirror of Fate, because no one remembers that card and it is totally absurd. Get the 7 best exiled cards you have, new library, why not? Have a single way to recur this beast. What a time to be alive, Magic is the best. The last piece of advice I'd give you for a deck like this is to not forget a few staples along the way. Some big removal spells like Putrefy, Anguished Unmaking, Mortify, and Merciless Eviction will do great here. Can't go wrong with annoying trigger-happy cards like Aura Shards or Skull Clamp. Then I'd run some Ramp. Kethis is great, but he can't do all the work himself, so you need enough mana available to you to cast everything that's in your yard. Remember, when you use his ability, you need to make sure you're getting enough value out of your graveyard to justify exiling 2 legendaries that you most likely won't get back. So focusing some slots on Cultivate, Kadama's Reach, some Signets, and Soul Ring is a wise choice, even though it may seem boring. I didn't want to give you an exact deck list this time around because Kethis is great for brewing. He's a commander that's forging a new path for the Abzan color combination. Such a breath of fresh air. I want you to take my suggestions and either build off them or use them to inspire you to do something completely different. Core Set 2020 has included a lot of cards like this, ones that make you think, but I don't think any of them make you think more than Kethis. His ability to let you cast your entire legendary graveyard over again is so friggin' cool, I can't even handle it. I want to know what you're all thinking about Kethis and what ideas you might have to build with him. I definitely didn't cover everything, so please leave me some ideas down below and we can build something together. After all, without all of you, I wouldn't have a preview card to talk about, so thanks again for watching. Means the world to me, it really does. And a huge thanks to Wizards for including the mana source in preview season once again. Let's enjoy Kethis together, and as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.